Hey guys, so let's say you've gone through the previous drills, and although your squat is feeling better in general, and those drills have gotten easier, you're still struggling in order to load up to the level that you'd like to be able to train, or you're having trouble even loading up to begin with. Well, there's two ways that you can load up a squat. You can load it up in the front, and you can load it up in the back with a barbell. And here I'm going to go through ways in which you can look at what might be going on with your back squat if you're struggling with it. Alright guys, so back squat. It's pretty simple. You get yourself underneath the bar, cross your shoulders, step on out, and then you simply go down and come on back up. Easy, right? So, oftentimes when folks have trouble with a back squat, it has more to do with their upper third than necessarily the lower parts of them. And that's if you're having no trouble doing a squat in other ways of loading up, or just simply a relaxed squat to the ground and back. If you're able to do that, but a back squat is difficult, then we gotta look at here up. What's going on there? Well, in order for you to be able to rack that barbell across your shoulders, you've got to be able to open up your chest wall in order to allow your shoulder girdle to travel into that position, and you still be able to huff and puff while you're getting that bar down and back like an elevator. So what oftentimes is going on if you struggle with a back squat exclusively is you've got some sort of limitation in terms of your chest wall mobility, your shoulder girdle mobility, and it's getting fleshed out when you're simply trying to get into that position. So in order for you to be able to get into that position, your chest wall has to be able to expand at the front in order to allow your shoulder girdle to retract backwards and put your arms into a position where it can help hold a barbell across your shoulders and not on your neck. So what that would be is your chest is able to open up and you can feel and visually see air going into that part of your body. Now, if you struggle exclusively with a back squat, getting into a comfortable rack, that's probably not going on. What you probably are feeling is your shoulders are really getting tight. They're not able to go into those positions. They may be painful just trying. You may get a lot of back discomfort as you overarch your back, trying to work around a tight chest wall. You may get a lot of neck discomfort as you're just trying to get yourself beyond that tight chest wall. So often what you need to do are chest wall mobility exercises that I've listed out in other videos for shoulder mobility in order to be able to just get into a rack to begin with. Once you've gone through those, and I'll show you a few of them in a moment just within this video, once you go through those, then you're going to be able to get yourself into a rack position and go through a checklist in order to make sure that you've got what you need to before you go down and back. Alright guys, so here's a couple of those chest wall flexibility activities that I referred to. So the basic one is just to stretch to the front of your chest wall. And I've gone through this in some videos on shoulder mobility, but I'll put it right here just so you can watch. Pretty much, you're going to lay down on a foam roller, and what you're going to do is tack down your lower half, get your back flat, bra line to belt line, and then holding that, you're going to work on opening the front of your chest up. So we don't want to go super tight. We want to find a position that's tolerable for you to be in. And then when you breathe in, you're going to try and keep your back bra line to belt line flat while you're pushing air from the inside out into your chest. So hands stay down, you breathe in, and then out. When you blow the air out, you're keeping your low back flat, you're gonna feel your abs working, that's great. When you breathe in, you hold on to that, you don't let your back arch. you should feel a nice stretch at the front of your chest. As that loosens up, then you may be able to feel your shoulder blades being able to go back, which is great. That's you being able to open this up in a controlled way so shoulder blades can travel back and you can get into that rack position. But oftentimes that alone is not enough in order to give you the flexibility and the control to have a nice open and strong rack position. So what you've got to then go to is, as that opens up, you've got to teach your shoulder girdle how to do work in that position. So what we're doing is we're putting you into that back rack position where chest opens up, and then you're going to ask your shoulder blades in order to be active there. So then the hands come down, and we're in this sort of like crab-like or like hanging out on the beach sort of position. Knees and hips are around 90 degrees, hands are right underneath your shoulders. Because your hands are reaching down and back, you reach your shoulders down and back and pinch your shoulder blades together. Should feel nice and tight at the front of your chest, especially if you struggle with your back rack. And then what you're going to do is first breathe in. Make sure you feel that big stretch at the front of your chest. Breathe out. You feel your shoulder blades creep back. Breathe in again. Big stretch at the front of your chest. And then out. So what you're doing is not just stretching the front of your chest wall like when you're on the foam roller. You are getting it further open and getting the stuff in the back awake so you can then control that position. If this gets a little easy, you can always hold that with your butt hovering up off the ground, and that challenges those muscles a bit more. This is a pretty basic thing, so if you struggle here, then it's something you want to get better at because it's a bit of a ticking time bomb if you're going to be asking your arms to work that hard handling a big weight. So those are two basic drills that you want to make sure you have under your belt and make it so it's much easier, much more free before you would ever expect yourself to be able to get into a strong rack in order to do a back squat. All right, so let's say you've gone through those activities, those chest wall flexibility exercises that I showed, and you're able to get the air expanding in the front of your chest. You're able to feel your shoulder blades retracting in the back, and that's what you're going to search for and hold on to while you're going through the back squat. So I'm going to show it to you from this angle, just so you can see it a little bit more easily. And you get into that position, just get on out in the open air away from the rack. And what you do is you apply what you did, say, on the foam roller, where you exhale until you feel your abs, and then breathe in until you feel some sort of stretch at the front of your chest, and then breathe out again, and you're going to feel your ability to cinch those shoulder blades down. Once you've got that, hold on to it, and you can go down, and come on back up. Sometimes you want to go and feel that air going in front of the chest between each rep at first when you're first learning how to use this and hold on to it. But eventually, you just sort of like get into that position, check it off the list, and then go to town. So those are the steps that I would encourage you to go through in order to make sure that you've got the flexibility at the front of your chest to allow your shoulder girdle to get into that rack position. That being the main thing to focus on requires that you've already checked off all the other components and skills that I went through in the previous two videos. Otherwise, if you don't have that under your belt, there's no way you're going to be able to change the tone in your upper body. You're just too unsteady. Your brain's going to keep you holding on in that area. So try those on out. Reach out if you got any questions about them. And then I hope this is helpful. I hope you're able to squat heavy, and I hope you're well.